Great Ananse is the king of our imagination, bringing stories with the light of the ancient Africa. Great Ananse is a griot, a chantuel, a calypsonian. What a wonderful delight is to hear her stories. Like an enormous spider web, she weaves her stories, and the grandpa and the kids, they all love what there's to hear. Great Ananse is the king of our imagination. Ananse is the wonder of creation. Great Ananse is the king of our imagination. Ananse is the wonder of creation.
Hello, 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 one and all, short and tall, big and small, and welcome to the closing gala of Ananse Soundsplash 2022, being held under the theme, Webs of Greatness. We are here in the very beautiful Marcus Garvey Center at the St. Anne Parish Library. But we are also in the town of St. Anne. So you will, from time to time, hear people going about their business. We want to begin by sharing with you the proclamation of National Storytelling Day. National Storytelling Day was first proclaimed in 2014 in honor of Marcus Garvey. In 2014 was the 100th anniversary of the founding of the UNIA. We're not going to read the entire proclamation, but we are going to be reading the relevant sections for today. So, whereas the Universal Negro Improvement Association, which Garvey established, celebrates the centenary of its founding in 2014, and whereas the role of storytelling, particularly for healing the fractured sense of self and contributing towards social recovery, was central to Garvey's work in culture, and whereas the importance of policies and actions that invest in the development of the oral tradition as a source of values-based critical thinking, leading to cultural regeneration and preservation is recognized, now therefore, I, Patrick Linton Allen, member of the Order of the Nation, Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, Commander of the Order of Distinction, Knight of Grace of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, Governor General of Jamaica, in honor of this 100th anniversary of UNIA, do hereby proclaim that Universal Children's Day, November 20, 2014, and henceforth every year be recognized as National Storytelling Day in Jamaica to celebrate the role of storytelling in facilitating the transmission of wholesome values for nation building and fostering the cultural well-being of our people, to which we all say, hear, hear, the hip, hip, and all of these wonderful things. We're going to have a grand time. I know we're going to be having a grand time. We welcome everybody on Facebook. We welcome everybody on YouTube of the Jamaica Library Service. And we welcome everybody who is here with us in the Zoom room. The Ananse Soundsplash Storytelling Conference and Festival is a production of Entukuma, the Storytelling Foundation of Jamaica, and is held in collaboration with the Jamaica Library Service. At this point, we bring you greetings from the Executive Director of the JLS, Mrs. Maureen Thompson.
Miss Opal Scott, Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Mina Blackwood Meeks, Founder and Director of Entukuma, the Storytelling Foundation of Jamaica, and other members of the Entukuma team, our valued partners, namely Tourism Enhancement Fund, Chase Fund, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, Emancipation Park, Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, Social Development Commission, and the Sky Gallery. I also want to acknowledge Ms. Merlene Walker, Regional Director, Region 3, and staff of the St. Anne Parish Library, Ms. Jody Ann Brown, Deputy Director, Library Technology, and the technical team from the Information Technology Division, storytellers locally and overseas, teachers, students, parents, visitors, library members, library staff, and of course, our online viewers. A very pleasant good afternoon to all of you. I am pleased to welcome you to the 8th and final leg of the 24th staging of the Ananse Soundsplash Storytelling Conference and Festival under the theme Webs of Greatness. We close the festival today by celebrating November 20 as National Storytelling Day, which is also being observed as World Children's Day. It has been a great week of rich cultural engagement, which featured young and talented storytellers weaving webs of greatness in keeping with the tradition of the festival. Please allow me to congratulate founder and director, our esteemed Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, for organizing yet another excellent production and for consistently ensuring that Ananse and all the Entukama tellers go to the library. We are immensely pleased about our long-standing partnership with Entukama, the Storytelling Foundation of Jamaica, and more than delighted to support the production and hosting of the 2022 festival at library locations within the Jamaica Library Service. And this has been happening throughout the week, culminating today here at the St. Anne Parish Library. This partnership, which was formed over 10 years ago, has been rewarding as we have collaborated on various initiatives that extend beyond the festival, using storytelling as a tool to educate and share cultural traditions and values impacting our students, teachers, parents, and citizens locally and globally. Some of these initiatives from our collaboration with the Storytelling Foundation include coordination of storytelling programs and events for adults and children island-wide in our libraries, storytelling competitions, and the formation of storytelling clubs. And these clubs are also in our libraries island-wide. We have also worked on capacity building and continuity by honing the skills of library staff and teachers to tell stories. Storytelling workshops focused on the art of storytelling has been held for staff, and workshops on storytelling as an effective teaching strategy held for teacher librarians, with emphasis on using storytelling to deliver concepts in the National Standards Curriculum. As an agency of the Ministry of Education and Youth, these training sessions were particularly important to strengthen technical skills to engage children in the educational recovery process following the learning loss in the education system since the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival was held virtually, and this resulted in wider international reach. This year, Ananse has gone hybrid, using both face-to-face and online platforms since the start of the festival. Last Sunday, November 13th, families and friends gathered at Emancipation Park and participated in a wonderful afternoon of storytelling activities. And today, the highlight of National Storytelling Day is Ananse's visit to the library, and the St. Anne Parish Library welcomes Ananse to the home of the Marcus Garvey Resource Center. This center encourages the study and exploration of Garvey's contribution to Jamaica and people of African descent across the diaspora. As Ananse goes to the library, we close an epic week of festivities, and we encourage you to reignite a passion for our heritage in your hearts. So locate, create, and participate in cultural activities as we celebrate November as Parent Month, Youth Month, and the Science and Technology Month, and today, National Storytelling Day. We thank you for joining us here at the St. Anne Parish Library and encourage you to tour the Marcus Garvey Center at the end of the program. We wish for you an enjoyable and enriching storytelling experience, not only today, but beyond today and the festival. I close most fittingly with the words of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Happy National Storytelling Day. Thank you.
Is this any better? People in the Zoom room, are you hearing us now? Andreen, I guess that is no. People in the Zoom room, yes, okay, we're being heard now. We're being heard. Turn off your sound. Thank you very much. Andreen, it's good to see you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for joining us. Did I say Carolyn, Elizabeth? I see that you're there. Thank you, everybody. No, yes, no problem. We have some beautiful children in the house with us. And children, you play any games? What kind of games you play? Today is Universal Children's Day, which is one of the reasons that we have National Storytelling Day. What is that? You play football. So you know that the World Cup starts today. Which team you bringing? You bring Argentina. Me, I bring Ananse team because I never handed the ball. Yes, which team you bringing? Which team? Today, Roadblock. Roadblock. A game named Roadblock.
ROW.
ROW Roadblocks. Yeah. You're going to have to show us that game during the break. Because we have been sitting here wondering which game Ananse play. Which game do we play? Hopscotch. Hopscotch. Janet, which game do we play?
1, 2, 3.
We're live. Damien, what about you? You always play hands on the 85. Gwyneth, which game you play? She will teach Janet game she play with like already. Anybody in Zoom land want to tell us which game they play? Because I get to understand that Ananse's favorite game is to play maths. And so we are going to our friends in Trinidad. Auntie Mila, are you there? Auntie Mila has this wonderful story for us about how Ananse played maths.
Hello, I'm sorry. On that one. It's on that one. It's on the base.
Look like Ananse getting costume ready. Look like the mask costume have only 6 legs, and Ananse needed to have 8 legs. So while Ananse getting his costume ready, is Ananse ready to play mask? While Ananse getting his costume ready, Damien, you want to show us how to play hands over 85.
Once again, I just play hands on the 85. We're going to clap the rhythm. Hands on the 85. Knee up, boys. Reputation, concentration. So let's go to the show. Starting with Assad.
Jeremy.
Oh, the team. Happy family 85. One again. Hands up. Girls. The meditation, the concentration. So let's go to the show. Starting with team. Come on. Hands up the 85. One again. Hands up. Good. The meditation, the station. So let's go to the show. Starting. Jordan.
All right, everybody come out because Ananse have on his costumes. And Nancy is ready. Part of what we do at this festival is to collaborate with storytellers all around the region. And so we have the story from Trinidad, and Nancy plays Mars.
And I come to tell you about the super fruit named okra. With the okra song, you can't go wrong. You can put it in the caranu or put it in the stew. You can put it in your rice, it does taste real nice. You can eat it with asada or even with a choker. Don't get your head kicked, you can even eat the leaf. It's okra we does eat. It's okra we does eat. It's okra we does eat.
Ananse plays Fancy Mass. One carnival Sunday night, Granny shouted, "Tim, Tim!" And the children said, "Boisek, we ready to listen." Granny, what story are you telling us today? Let me tell all you a story about Ananse, a mischievous little spider who came all the way from Africa to Grenada. Everyone knew him because of his tricks. He had up his 8 sleeves. A long, long time ago in Grenada, the animals had their own carnival. And just like us, they had calypso and steel pan music. They even had their own costume parades, even Juve. Well, Ananse loved everything about carnival, especially playing jab-jab. But he would wake up 4 a.m, dragging chains, wearing his helmet. One year, Ananse decided he wanted something a little different. He wanted to play Fancy Mass with the birds, the peacocks, the macaws, and the parrots. They had the most colorful feathers of them all. That morning, Ananse was excited. He left home with his jab-jab helmet on, his long chain, and his bucket of oil. When he entered the mass camp, everyone started laughing. "Good morning, Mrs. Peacock," he said. "I come to sign up to play Fancy Mass with your band." "You guys don't play Fancy Mass? All you just play jab-jab, or shotney, or vehicle. That is the other traditional mass we have in Grenada. Y'all never play Fancy Mass before. You see, children, spiders have never played Fancy Mass before." Ananse rushed out of the mass camp. He stomped his way to the market square, his old oil sloshing about. He soon caught the attention of all the animals who were present. "Don't worry," he shouted. "Them peacocks always feel they better than me. I go show them. I go start my own mass band." Well, Grenada Dove, Iggy the iguana, Crebo the snake said to him, "We go help you, Ananse." "Thanks," he replied to everyone. "We go organize." Well, over the next few weeks, Ananse worked day and night to get his band ready for Carnival. He was proud of his spider web designs. All he needed was some materials. When he needed strings, Ananse secretly plucked the hair from the horse's tail. He stole branches from Mr. Bull's coconut tree and followed the birds around and picked up the feathers they had dropped. Now, Ananse then remembered that he needed music for his mass band. The Mona Monkeys, they had the best steel pan band ever. They would be perfect, he thought. If only I could figure out how to convince Mona, she's the band leader, to leave the peacocks. He had an idea. Later that evening, Ananse went to the pan house where the Mona Monkeys were practicing. All is sounding real good, he praised. But here now, play for my band now, he asked. Well, Mona was a bit surprised. Ananse told Mona all about his new fancy mass band and how excited everyone was. Then he asked Mona, play for me now. Ananse saw the confusion on Mona's face. Of course. Well, I was passing by the market, he told them. I was passing by the market and I overheard somebody telling somebody else that the peacocks have a band coming up from Trinidad. Mona was angry. Those peacocks always feel like better than people. Well, Ananse, we go play for all you instead. Ananse was ecstatic. Finally, distribution day had arrived. All the animals lined up outside Ananse's mass camp, excited to collect their costume. Well, after 3 hours waiting, everybody started to get vexed because they can't see costume yet. Ananse, where my costume? Mrs. Hen asked. It coming. Hold that headpiece there, pig. This back piece go fit you, he told Iggy, the iguana. I wonder who this bodysuit go fit? But where is mine and the rest of the pan players? Mona Monkey asked. Slolo have it. Slolo? You mean Slolo the turtle? Mona was confused. Ananse Carnival is tomorrow. Wear my costume. Grenada Dove and the Agouti addressed Ananse with concern on their faces. Why didn't you call us for help? Ananse looked down, too embarrassed to respond. Then Mrs. Peacock entered Ananse's mass camp. Mona, I'm looking for you. Your costume ready. Mona sneered at Ananse. You're the same old trickster spider. I thought you'd tell me Peacock and them have a band coming in from Trinidad. Mona walked out, leaving only Grenada Dove, Agouti, Crebo the snake, Iggy the iguana, and Pig. I just wanted to play fancy mass this year, Ananse grumbled. Ananse! I have the costumes, shouted Slolo. Remember Slolo the turtle? Ananse grinned. You see, I tell all you, the costumes come in. And that is how Ananse the spider played fancy mass for the first time.
Ananse in everything. Ananse. I didn't even know there was mass and there was fancy mass. thanks to Ananse, we now know that there is mass and there is fancy mass. I want to welcome the Kasiki. I'm so sorry, somebody else has a microphone on a computer. Somebody in the Zoom room. Can everybody on Zoom mute for us, please? Hello? Can everybody on Zoom mute? Yes, okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that. We were just learning that there is mass and there is fancy mass, and that Ananse is the bringer of fancy mass. And while Ananse was bringing fancy mass, look what happened. All of these tellers move from the green table to the black table. I bet them soon move to the red table, just to show off the fact that the Marcus Garvey Resource Center here at the St. Anne Parish Library is decorated fully in the Marcus Garvey colors. Yes, I love that. All right, so I wonder who is coming next. Who is coming next? Punchinella Little Fell. Who is coming next? Punchinella Little Fell. You had a question. I wonder if Ananse ever meet Marcus Garvey. I wonder what would happen if Ananse and Marcus Garvey buck up. Yeah. I think I know somebody else who wonder the same thing. The wonderful Mr. Stevens up there into America, wondering what would happen if Brother Ananse meet Brother Marcus. All right, Steve, we want to hear what would happen.
It's your boy Toko Tebie, and I come to tell you about the super fruit named Okro. With the Okro song, you can't go wrong. You can put it in the caranu or put it in the stew. You can put it in your rice, it does taste real nice. You can eat it with a sada or even with a choker. Don't get your head deep, you could even eat the leaf. It's Okro we does eat. It's Okro we does eat. It's Okro we does eat.
Ananse played.
Hi, I'm Steve Russell. Enough respect to
I don't know what happened.
my family for including me in this
I
year's.
don't know how Auntie Nila come back into your business. But see you there now into your business. Let's hear from Steve about how Brother Ananse meet Brother Marcus.
And to Soundsplash Conference and Festival. Today, I'll be doing a story for you entitled Brother Ananse and Brother Marcus.
My granny used to say that when bird fly too fast, them pass them nest. And Papi sure, him have him own gang. Well, it was no different for Nancy and him one son in Tukuma. You see, a long time ago, and Tukuma had given a speech at a men's summit, and every dog licked them tongue and wagged them tail about how great a performance it was. It had gotten to Brother Tukuma's head that every girl that he met, he would tell them how he's about to become the next big superstar on the speaking circuit. Yes, and Tukuma was supposed to bust well like a big baby kite, but every time he called a promoter, they would tell him that they need a speaker like Marcus. And Tukuma had no clue who Marcus was, because in his head, he was the only motivational speaker in town. As the years went by, all the ladies in Tukuma courted started to leave him. Them said, 7 years is too long to wash spot off a Guinean back. they couldn't wait any longer for Ntukuma's success. So he decided that he was going to go in search of the Marcus that everybody wanted to book to see if he could become a better speaker and what he could learn from him. So the first person he asked was Brother Nancy. Brother Nancy was intrigued because Ntukuma was never listening to all the advice that he had given him previously. He did remind Ntukuma too, as his parents did for many years, that the humblest calf sucked the most milk. And then he set Ntukuma and his new journey of discovery. He told Ntukuma that the only Marcus he knew was Brother Marcus from St. Anne. He told Ntukuma that if he wanted to speak like Brother Marcus, he needed to make the trip to St. Anne's Bay to seek his help. He said, son, when you get to St. Anne, ask anyone you see for Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. No, in order not to forget the name, all Brother Ntukuma repeated was Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Yes, Marcus, all the way to St. Anne's Bay. When Brother Ntukuma got to St. Anne's Bay, he saw a lady who told him that Brother Marcus was giving a speech at the library. Now, Ntukuma hurried to the library, but when he got there, Brother Marcus had just left. He saw the excitement of the crowd that had gathered and heard how inspired they were of Brother Marcus's speech. Ntukuma inquired about Brother Marcus's next stop and was told that Brother Marcus would be giving a speech in Kingston. So he gathered his stuff and set out on a long trek to find Brother Marcus in Kingston. On his way to Kingston, he heard the sounds of the When he got there, he saw Brother and Brother
No, don't want that nothing until the clock, Steve.
Steve at the clock. Thank you very much.
For that. Who is coming next? Punchinella, little fella. I think it's you, Janet. Janet, I think you are coming next. I absolutely believe that you have something to share. You're going to the microphone. Give Janet a round of applause. Let's hear it for Janet.
All right. You can hear me. There are some people over on Sunday. Well, everybody. I was in you. Never wonder why was it so hot. But tell you. I'll tell you a story. Last time where I was used to be where I was very
Yeah, but I want to say that I know that this finish, as soon as this finish is supposed to play. I know what's going on.
Heat. You have to pretty early.
Do you have this ready?
And so after that, you need very, very proud. You used to love, smile, and laugh. So that there is what with the occasion I want to be silent. Where I was, you was smiling and showing. And so I see the company put it on like something that's true. Anyway, I never really realized I was Yes, I love everything. So it's very sharp, and you know what? When you eat that sharp, they love it. Yes, everyone, when you kill somebody and you just like the doctors, and they were so like me. What other people love to admire. So they might marry, as well as smile to them. Well, and now it's supposed to be that same village, no, and it's all a hard working post on them and then. And you have to go all over the village, that people outside of the village to live by the village. Sometimes you have to walk so sleep. You know, like this kid them down here and I said, I think, man, so one day and I say, I think we have up thinking him up thinking like, and it was one kind of who is one big pro that tell what we are called is a kind of pro. When you know, when all the rest of where I was, tell me what where I was, but I can't you know, and show up. Well, no, no, so we're not saying what I don't say that I don't know over. And when other people get more attention, yeah, that's what I'm so we're not saying that over. Today, yeah, put up this team thing with us, put up was using it, you know, it's smart. So you must stick up and the see. And then he goes to watch the pro, and he said, oh, nice wings like you. You're gonna just whoop something in. A swoop, slap in with the beard. A slap all with the beard. What? Where are we gonna see? So when I watch it, I chew it up. Yes, I chew. You did up 9 wings. If you are just fly everywhere with the beard. Why? You did have your job. If you got everything every day. When Ananse said, why? Anything. We have your I tell you. When I was saying, did I give anything? Then we see it on, because I don't know problem. Why you not give me? When Ananse said, oh, well, you know what I give you? We do a say your life. Goodbye. So we would have thank you, bite me, bite me over any part of my except it talks. And also you bite it on my mush of the pretty teeth and anyway, here we are. We're gonna make a deal. You're gonna carry me a few for 1 week, and then we home to the back. Right, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. And so they made the deal. And so 1 week for the was something in them, all the years in the year. 2 things, don't anybody get. In the meantime, Ananse after the land Ananse go buy one big Dutch pot. You know the one they play. They get the metal. Then I the Dutch pot and then they work 2 holes in the Dutch pot. So you put it over your head and you put a still see where I want. When they end up boom. And the next thing we're gonna so long here. You work. Was outside. Where the man said, where the man said, it's Ananse, run to deliver all the bills on the company. You keep your side. Ananse said, come in, come in. Was coming in. No, Ananse turned up, all the light, then you know, so was passing to move. Ananse said, what? What? Take your life. What? Take your life. I did it. So brother was because straight down. Straight. You know, brother said, you know what? When it hit the metal, everything splinter, all the teeth, them mash up. And from that feeling, brother was not have no words. That is why when brother was, he knew he you like it was speak and never took you. Is that not it?
You see how Janet met the end of my story, tell us them move again. Because them afraid was come by them. But they're now also sitting around the red table. So all you little children in this room, can you tell me what 3 colors were in the Marcus Garvey flag? Look at the 3 tables in the room. Anybody who can tell me what 3 colors are in the Marcus Garvey flag gets a book. Any come and tell me. Come over here. The little one who annoys his sister every day. I have 4 books. Me now have 4 books. Damien, how many books we have? What's your name? You name Damien?
You just have to get a book.
You have to get a book because you name Damien. You hear? Damien, do you know how many colors are in the Marcus Garvey flag? Red, black, who told you that? Yes, I like that you for being so observant. Come, Uncle Damien, you have to give your namesake a book. Damien, you can either have a book called That's a Good Idea, written by me, look at me, for my name is me. Written by me, Nina Blackwood Weeks. Or you can have a book called Don't Hurt That Bird. Which one you want? You want Don't Hurt That Bird? Or you want, you can have the one on display. You want Don't Hurt That Bird, or you want That's a Good Idea? You want Don't Hurt the Bird? You like Slingshot? And you know what you're also going to have? Where are the certificates? Where are the certificates? All the children stand over there and face the camera, so everybody in the world can see your beautiful faces. Auntie Hassan, can you come and present these children with their certificate? Each child attending the Ananse Soundsplash gets their own certificate. So here we go. Go to Auntie Hassan. She's okay right where she is. Camera will pick you up, don't worry. All right, there you go. A round of applause. Not now. There you go, your turn. Come, miss. And you also get a certificate for coming out on a Sunday to the library. You never know what will happen on a Sunday when you come to the library. You will just get something fabulous. And Mr. Damien, you get your certificate and your book. Mr. Damien is book. All right. Thank you very much. When I say Ananse, you say Soundsplash. Ananse! Ananse! Miss Scott, people talking about Ananse doing all kind of things. Him buck up Garvey, him buck up the wasp down by the river. I don't know who he do. You remember a time when we used to wash by the river?
Oh yes, we used to do all sorts of things down by the river.
No, when you say all sorts of things,
we used to do all sorts of domestic chores down by the river. You know, we washed and we got bathed and we kept janga.
What is janga?
Shrimps, them call them nowadays, you know.
I bet it's two different. I bet your janga is not shrimps.
No, at that, them call it nowadays.
Well, I believe we have one of your librarians from the parish of St. James, who wants to reminisce for us. I think that she didn't know nothing. She looked too young. Reminisce what our granny tell her about what used to happen down by the river.
Dear, I was sitting in the back of my yard when me look, me see Liza, she the pass with one pat in her hand, dump on the truck. So me say, the Liza, she they go so early in the morning with pat in her hand. Anyways, me just did I know, just say look. When me look, me see one crowd of people, they pass with pat, clothes, scrub board, loafer, and can't stick. So I say, well, probably I help them, I help somebody move. So they think, and I say, then who could they move? When me look, me see get all she come. Hey, oh no, wait for me. Me have come a river too. Me say, river? Hey, me have it in this. Me say, river with one of people. Sweet. So me just shot going on my house. Pan up me little bit of dirty clothes there and head to the river. So when we go down there, people they start out their clothes, white clothes, different from colored clothes, because you know so they can't wash together. And while some people there start out their clothes, the other them gonna look stick, they go set on the pot. Massa, me hurry up and wash up my clothes and pack done. And sit down there fast and the people them business. When me hear Merkel she give out, Lord God, me left, me can't stick. There's a Merkel, no worry yourself.
Yeah.
Just beat the clothes them pan the stone. Yo, see Merkel with master and clothes them and beat pan the stone. Hey, when you look over one side, you see the pit of them. A kin up and licking at the water, and them a flick and them a carry on until one of them almost drowned. The mother them get fed up and send them underneath the cool shade to go lie down. Yes man, they were already spread it with some coconut leaf and spread sheet pan and tell them so they must just go and go take their rest. While them are washing up, me hear somebody start sing, all me Sunday dear clothes in a curtsy pan, in a curtsy. So them start out slow this song until in the last part, them start sing. Oh, she make it buy a make it sing ma. Oh, she make it sing ma make it buy ya. Oh, she make it buy a make it sing ma. Nancy girl lick on the rocks don't beg like hey hey. Me say what a nice time. Me say I love this singing so till you know after them done wash a food time. Me say everybody get plate, dumpling, banana, yam. And cook up saltfish. Then here Merkel she no. She left her plate. Somebody just have to just go across the river, but pick 2 cocoa leaves and share with her food and give her meat. Yes man. After the eatings and them pack up and stuff, bathing time. So everybody in the river man a bathe. When we hear Merkel she give out again. She left her rug on our soul. They say, Miracle, here where you go do? Go across the river and see if you can either get Cersei bush, Quaco bush, or Porol. Miracle go back and she come with her Cersei bush and she rub and she rub and she rub until it's sod. And if you add more sod, she use the carbolic soap and put it on it and beard. After she done here, no, is the sweetest beard she ever get. Yes, man. So after everybody done pack up them bath pan with them clothes and them washboard and everything, and some of the man them know, them have the wood for the fireside for care go back up. We start make we way home. And we just hear one start, you see, here, evening time, work is over, now it's evening time. We they walk on mountain, they walk on mountain, they walk on mountainside. Yes, man, it was the best river day ever. Ay, ay, ay.
Hear about the river. And what we want in Jamaica has developed a bird. And you know, Ananse is the one that caused a lot of trees. The wood and the water we hear about. Ananse is the one that caused a lot of trees from the Jamaica. You believe me? You don't believe me yet, but I will convince you. Long time ago, Ananse was living with the few trees that were on Jamaica, the shrubs, and could never get any rest. Because of birds in Jamaica, the birds that used to sing and make a lot of noise. Can we name about 3 birds in Jamaica? Dr. Bird, the one that make noise, man. Pitchery, this story, like it up there. Because Pitchery was the one that was giving Ananse food problem. And he said, how can I, his solution thinking, how can I create more trees so that I don't have to share the few trees that are here with the cherry and the light of him? So Ananse said, I know, I'm going to vines on the ground. I'm going to make them think and know and understand that they do something more. So of course he went to pineapple. We have pineapple on in Jamaica. We were playing pineapple on the picture of the public. On the quota, about this. So Ananse went to the pineapple patch and said, hi pineapple. And they said, hi Ananse. He said, listen, you are such wonderful food, but you're growing on the ground. Why not try to grow into a tree? I think you did very beautiful tree. And the pineapple said, we're very happy here. Everybody knows we're lovely and taste good. And we have our security system around us for a long time. We're quite comfortable. We don't get it anymore. And he said, have a nice day. And then Ananse went to Yam. Yam come from Africa with Ananse. And then he said, I have a friend. And Yam said, Ananse, and not going to a tree. And Yam needs the earth to produce the nourishment in our tuber. But I tell you what, I don't go talk to some others. So at the time, nature, which is a West Indian fruit, was growing on the ground. And nature, you want to hear like nature? What is life about it? Sweet. And I said, nature, you're so sweet, so delicious. Your skin is so soft. Why don't you grow into a tree so that you can have your food not be bruised all the time with all the stones on the ground? And nature said, Ananse, look at me. I'm not bright and pretty like a cherry. I'm not gorgeous like a guava. I don't have any reason and any rights to be growing on a tree. And I said, no man, you are so delicious. People see you all the time. If you grow into a tree, you'll be able to have your fruit and to find you. Try. And nature said, I will. And nature went and pushed on his roots and thought hard about it. And he stretched out his spine that was nice and straight. You know, walking crunch upon the ground like this. Eh? That's not good. And next thing you know, nature tells wood is growing in his back. And he said, wait, I can be straight. I can be tall. And in the next season, nature actually became a small tree. And then you know that makes very no, a pretty big tree. And the bird said, wow, look at that. We're used to being in the solar of seasons and stars and the sea stuff. This nature is lush with thick leaves. And they rushed to the other and said, great. And he had two more. And he went to Mommy Fruit. Now, who knows Mommy Fruit in here? Tell me what you know about Mommy Fruit. Yes, we have a community. I'm whispering so quick all the time. Thank you. Nathan is among our big tree. It's a big tree. It's huge. But it needs to be around, running around on that line. And I went to Mommy Fruit and gave her the same story. And Mommy said, you know, I saw what Mayfair did. I think I can too. But I like the North Pole. I love the east side. And that is why I love the farmers. We're not the North Pole of Jamaica. Because Ananse convinced me to do that. And the farmers grew like a baby. And as I said, but I still can't get rid of these cherries. The cherries don't live in Jamaica or in China. They are migrant birds. Check it out. They come from Hispaniola every summer and they relax here and then they go back to their nest in other islands. And they are third, as you know. So, and like I said, I know one more. He said, tamarind. Tamarind. And tamarind said, see what it is going to make their mom. What nobody wants me. Means there is what? Sweet. And mom, it is big and beautiful and makes a lovely salad. But what does tamarind have? Is tamarind sweet? It's so, and what else? It's stringy. Nobody wants it. And I said, look, don't worry about that. I believe in you. I believe you have a great. And guess what? The hillside up there is all the dry rock. I believe you can go to that rocky forest. And Simon said, I went to carry my cousin. A cousin named Loco. Anybody know the Locos too? What I call Locos? Don't call him that. He don't like it. Don't like it. Anyway, Cameron and his cousin went on the rocky, dry hillside. And he said, you see the Cameron? Next time. He showed us the room into the dry rocky soil on the hillside. And then straight up the back. And the little rain that fell up there, that just rolled through the limestone of Jamaica. And they grew into big trees, and the birds loved it. And Ananse said, great.
A round of applause. We're asking for a round of applause for Janet. For a wonderful pictorial presentation of the week that is coming to an end too soon. And then I wanted to let you know that part of N2 section is to set up storytelling clubs all around Jamaica, in every nook and cranny, in every church, in every community, in every school, in every library. The guidelines for the storytelling clubs will be found on our Ananse Matters Facebook page. That's the name of the Facebook page, Ananse Matters. So when you go to Ananse Matters, you will see how to set up your storytelling club. And we ask that as soon as your club is set up, you let us know. Now, because we have an international audience, you don't have to be in Jamaica to set up the club. Wherever you are, you set up the club and you let us know that you are part of the Ntukuma family and part of our clubs. All right. That's one announcement I want to make. The other announcement I want to make is this. You know that in Jamaica, no, that's not the announcement, because people are asking why we're wearing blue. And I just told Janet we were not going to have any fashion show. So we're not having a fashion show, but I'm going to just truncate the fashion story. The fashion story is this, that we decided to get clothes for Ananse for this very special occasion. And so we consulted our friends in West Africa. You know, everything on the African continent has a meaning, and they helped us to design this fabric, which they made for us out of batik. So the blue represents the water on which Ananse sailed. This symbol on the top is the Yoruba symbol for light and life, with which Ananse always travels. This symbol in the middle is the Akan symbol called important for Ananse. And as we go further out on our fashion, we need somebody to help me to come and stand up here, we will find that we have other things. We have a drum, there's a drum, we have the close island, because we love to look nice and beautiful. We have the aki, which came from Ghana. We have the calabash, in which we carry our food. We have the 3-foot pot and the cold stove on which we cook our food. And in the other legs of the festival, we had a full fashion show. So if you go to Ananse Soundsplash 2022 online, you will see a full fashion show. And of course, when we leave here, we're going to Island Village and we're going to be doing a full fashion show at Island Village. So clap Ananse, thank you very much. It is almost impossible to have a storytelling session and not guess a riddle. So we're going to guess some riddle now. Anybody know any riddle? I did not say riddle. I said riddle. Because you have to say riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle and perhaps not. Who have a riddle? Little ones, you know riddles? Your parents don't get you any riddles. Come, let's take one session as a riddle. You have a riddle? No. Come in love. No, I say I don't have any. What is your riddle? Huh? Your riddle is a silent riddle. Clap. A very silent riddle. Our riddle is silent rivers run deep. You have a riddle next? Come. Come, step on up. Riddle time. Happy to see that some young people know riddle. Riddle me this, riddle me that, guess me this riddle and perhaps not. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and guess your riddle.
Good evening. My name is Azalea from Chester, and my riddle is, my father had a house and he catch up on stick. What am I?
My father have a house and it catch up on stick. Umbrella, catch up. Anybody else have a You want my wriggle, miss? You're trying to think of my wriggle come. Come on! Wriggle coming out!
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanice Grant, and I work here as well. Hello, Tom. Wriggle with this, wriggle with that. This colleagues wriggle and perhaps not. Hello, Tom, and hello, bottom. What am I?
What you need for what they put in nice, you know, man, say hallelujah, nigga. Hella top, hella bottom, hallelujah, nigga. This is one of my favorite riddles. Wriggle me this, wriggle me that. Yes, me this, wriggle and perhaps not. How much does a woman frock weigh? How much does a woman frock weigh? You don't understand frock, dressing. In other words, what is the weight of a woman's dress? For those of you, how much? Is heavy? What is the weight of a woman's dress? How much does a woman frock weigh? Look, the answer is a visual answer. 1 ton. 1 ton. I love it. I love my little self when I'm laughing. All right, the final segment. Wriggle me this, wriggle me that. Guess me this, wriggle and perhaps not. What happens once in a minute, twice in a week, but once in a year? You know what I mean? I love it. It took easy. The letter E. Letter E. And that reminds us of time. Not it a minute, a week, a year. And as we said, we have all of these partners throughout the region with whom we collaborate on many projects. And so we now go to Linda M. Dean in Barbados, who sent us a beautiful story, Makiba and the Magic Time Painting. A round of applause for Linda.
Shakalak, dear friends, Shakalak. Linda M. Dean, the summer storyteller from Barbados here. I'm so happy to be sharing this story for the Ananse Soundsplash Festival. The story is called Makiba and the Magic Time Painting. One day, when time was quite fed up of standing still, an artist climbed to the top of a tall building in the city, a camera slung over his shoulder. He wasn't only an artist, he was also a teacher, an actor, and a storyteller. He wore many magician's hats. He wasn't sure which hat he had on when he reached the topmost balcony, but he took out his camera and snap, he took a picture of the Parliament buildings with the clock that still needed fixing. Click, he captured the cars racing along the Wharf Road past the old sugar and spirit bond houses. Chicken. He photographed boats in the careenage with the oily turquoise waters swirling out to sea and the bridges that connected the city to its very self. He aimed the camera down and snap, click, chicken, chicken. He took pictures of the square below. All he could see were treetops and taxi men competing for passengers, and Chefette, the fast food restaurant. He didn't see the statue at all. He looked at his watch. Time to wear one of my other hats, he thought, and made his way down. He would look at the photographs later. Well, shakalak, my friends, shakalak. Our good friend, time, ambled on until one day it caught up with a young girl named Makiba. Makiba and her mother were walking past an art gallery in the city, and in the window was a painting that stopped them in their tracks. "That's Heroes Square," said Makiba. "Yes," said her mum, "but it looks different, alive somehow." Makiba and her mum felt themselves pulled like pins to magnets into the gallery. "I can't believe we bought a painting just like that," said Makiba afterwards. "Your dad certainly won't," said Mum. And as they walked, they talked about where they would hang it when they got home. They stopped when they got to Heroes Square and pointed out everything they recognized: the boats, the bond houses, cars flying up the wharf road, the Parliament clock, the trees, and the taxis, even Chauffeur. "Wait a minute," said Makiba, pointing suddenly. "That's not in our painting." In front of them stood a statue with graffiti on it. "Take me down," it read, "now." In their painting, there was only a grassy space. Makiba and her mum looked like two confused emojis. Time began to drag his feet a little less, and eventually there was a big gathering in the square. Shakalak, my friend, shakalak. Crowds stood in the sun, big ups under tents. There were songs and speeches. In the background, lashed with ropes and surrounded by heavy equipment, stood the statue. In the crowd were Makiba and her mother. Makiba had learned all about the statue in school. She now knew it was of a man who was seen as a hero to some a long time ago, but not now, not anymore. He had supported and defended slavery. As the statue was torn down and hauled away, Makiba watched the stilt walkers in white robes. She liked how they strode behind the truck like defenders, making sure the statue was gone and that Heroes Square could now be itself. When they got home, Makiba stared at the painting they had bought. "It's like he saw into the future," she thought. "Mom," she called, "this is a magic painting." Then she looked closely at the grassy area the artist had drawn and remembered that at the taking down ceremony, only the statue had been removed. The platform he stood on remained. Why didn't they take that too? She wondered. Well, Time, like he had a little pep in his step by now. Shakala! A design competition was announced for a new monument for the square, a national competition that anyone could enter, including schools. Makiba's class came up with some wonderful designs. One thing puzzled her, though. The space for the new monument still included the platform. How can it be a true Heroes Square, she wondered. And she decided to come up with her own design. Makiba thought and drew and thought and painted and thought some more. Mountains of balled up paper, crayons and markers carpeted her bedroom, and there was even a painted handprint or two on her walls. Ta-da! She announced at last. Her mum surveyed the masterpiece. It was almost as big as her daughter and showed trees, flowers, winding pathways, and stepping stones. See? Said Makiba, pointing out large sculptures of men and women among the trees, some of them resting on stone benches or at tables. Our national heroes. You can sit next to them and even meet the ones who are still alive. And look, here's an area for artists and storytellers. Bam, she said finally, pointing to a giant wall. It had a mirrored surface. This is where people can see themselves and take selfies. This is magic, whispered Mum. Tomorrow we frame it and hang it next to the first painting. I wonder if mine will come true, like that one did, said Makiba. Time wondered too, and put on his roller skates. Shakalak, my good friends. Shakalak.
Who is coming next? Functionality fan. Who is coming next? Functionality fan. What can you do? Functionality fan. What can you do? Functionality fan. When I say crick, you say crap. Crick, crack, crick, crack. No, crab lived on top of the hill with his father. Crab's father was the best maker of heads in his village. Now, Crab's father always said to him, you need to learn to make the heads. So Crab's father would make the head, load them into a basket, give Crab, and he would go down to the market and sell. Now, one particular Saturday, Crab went down and he sold all the heads, and he was coming back home after buying things that his father would ask him to get. When I say crick, you say crack. Crick? Yes. So Crab was making his way along. Anybody know sideways? Yes, man. And he was making his way with a basket of things that his father asked him to buy. Now, in his pocket, he had a lot of money. Now, when he was almost halfway to go up the hill, he bumped into a man, well dressed. This man said to him, Mr. Crab, you don't have any more heads to sell in your head. You don't know where to go to a special occasion later. I said, no man, your heads, they're all finished. But I could see my father could make a head for you. But the man said, no man, I need to get this head now. I said, no man, I can't do that no man, I have to hold up on my own. So Crab did it, and the man said to him, guess what? How much money do you need today? Crab said, I made enough money. How much money did he make? So he said, I will strike a deal with you. I will give you 2 times what you need. So Crab made how much? No. And you multiply that by 2 and get no. Now Crab was there and he started to think about it. And Crab said, you know, maybe if I sit in the head and I go back home, my father could make another head. So Crab was there and thought about it. I said, all right then, I will sell you the head. So Crab was there, man. He put his eye and stick it in the left shoulder. Then take out the eye and stick it into the right shoulder. And Crab taking the time and screw up the head. And then he sent the head to the man. He moved side and fast and up the hill. When Crab reached across the road, he could hear the speaking of drums and the singing of Thinking Minute songs. Anybody ready to Thinking Minute song? All right. So he could hear the song. Uma famatile, way out in the village. No, anybody who know a Thinking Minute song would know that it's only when somebody dies, you hear them playing that kind of song. So God pat his way sideways and make his way down to the lane going down to his house. So much people coming here and here, a lot of crying. So come on, what was happening? That made his way faster and went into the house. When he went into the yard, all he could realize was that his father was dead. No, Crab did not know what to do. Crab started to wonder, what am I going to do? I don't have any head. Until now, that is why Crab have no head. I want you to sing with me. Mad, sick, head not good. Mad, sick, head not good. Let me hear you. Mad, sick, head not good. Mad, sick, head not good. Jack Mandora, me not choose, none.
Have to make that choice right now. Miss Opal, come here. Because we have to make a choice. We have to make a choice to say, walk on. Can you imagine? Time down. Already. We have to make a choice to say, walk on. All the beautiful people who came out to your beautiful Marcus Garvey Resource Center. It's a beautiful center. Are you also online at the center? So our friends are abroad can do research. All right, very soon. Okay, that's wonderful. We are making our way now to Island Village. We want to thank everybody who joined us today for this semi-closing leg of the Ananse Soundsplash 2022. And for those of you in St. Anne, we're coming up now to Island Village to begin that final show at 4 o'clock. And the final show will also have the fashion show. On your way and good up, you walk with you. Walk good every day and good up in. Walk with you. Walk good every day on your way. Walk good, follow you. If you just walk good, but hold on. I hear there is a brother. I hear Errol being said that we cannot come to the Marcus Garvey Resource Center and just get up and dance. So we are going to be leading to this poem story in tribute to Marcus Garvey, written by our OLP.
The Black African Bloom, to the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
We need a black flower, a lovely black flower. Set the black flower, strong African flower.
In a greenhouse, in the garden or in the pot, cultured or wild, foliage green, flowers colorful, purple and shades, yellow and shades, blue and shades, pink and shades, red and shades, and even white. But where is the black flower growing naturally? Is the sun too hot for black, or is shadow sin, evil and death? We need a black flower to remind us of our African roots, to remind us of Angola, Congo, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Gambia, and Senegal. We need a black flower to remind us of the slave ships, Hannibal, Amistad, the Zong, and the George. We need a black flower to depict the coffles and the chains, the resistance, the struggle for freedom in the Americas and the West Indies. We need a black flower to sing the songs of redemption, to sound the abeng of the black princess, Nanny of the Maroons, to beat the drum of the black hero, Marcus Garvey. We need a black flower like scarlet poppy to rise from the grave of our history, the grave of our pride, the grave of our power, the grave of our culture, the grave of our confidence, the grave of our dignity. We need a black flower to speak of black courage and black power. We need a black flower to create positive images of black beauty. We need a black flower to erase distortions of the black skin and stop bleaching. We need a black flower to dispel negative associations of blackness. Yes, let the black flower remove the stain of brainwashed concepts of self. Oh, Almighty Jah, send us a black flower with beautiful black petals, bright red sepals. Let it sit on a strong green stalk. Let the black flower disturb the prejudices, the hate, and the rejection. Let the black flower call for reparation and repatriation, as well as the exoneration of Marcus Garvey. Let the black flower, the black African blue, proclaim freedom, freedom, freedom. Let the black flower bloom, if only in my dream, my dream.